Hello and welcome to Views on News. I am Jawad Tehami. Pakistan's Foreign Secretary Mr. Cyrus Sajjad Qazi has made some startling revelations against India's involvement in assassinations in Pakistan. Speaking at a news conference in Islamabad today, he said Islamabad has credible evidence of the links between Indian agents and the assassination of two Pakistani nationals in Sialkot and Rawalakot. He added that India is running a sophisticated and sinister campaign of extraterritorial killings inside Pakistan, and these killings for hire cases involved a sophisticated international setup spread over multiple jurisdictions. The Foreign Secretary has further said Indian agents used technology and safe havens on foreign soil to commit assassinations in Pakistan. They recruited, financed and supported criminals, terrorists and unsuspecting civilians to play defined roles in these assassinations. Also, he said these cases which are relating to these assassinations are being tried in the court of law. Now, this is not the first instance of India's assassination on foreign soils. Earlier, we saw recently Canada was one of those victims where Indian agents associated with the Indian government carried out an assassination of a Canadian national on the Canadian soil. Also after that, the US authorities thwarted an assassination attempt on the part of Indian agents associated with the Indian government of trying to carry out an assassination of another US national on the US soil. Now, regarding this particular phenomenon of India's state sponsorship of terrorism, Pakistan had been repeatedly trying to draw the world community's attention towards it, and on a number of occasions Pakistani officials had been sharing the information of India's involvement of state sponsorship of terrorism, and also dossiers regarding this particular involvement of India in the espionage, sabotage and terrorist activities in Pakistan were shared with the United Nations Secretary General. This important development, these startling revelations about the rogue nature of India as a state, especially under the Bharatiya Janata Party led by its Prime Minister Narendra Modi, will be taking up this up for discussion in today's show. And for that, we are honored to have been joined in the studio by Mr. Naveed Aman Khan. He's expert in international relations. Mr. Khan, thank you very much for being with us on the show tonight. Really appreciate that. Let me begin the discussion with you, Mr. Khan. Now, the Foreign Secretary had to come himself to do a news conference regarding India's involvement in the assassinations that its agents have carried out on Pakistani soil. When a Foreign Secretary of a sovereign state comes to reveal such type of facts about another state who happens to be the largest democracy in the world, how concerning, serious these revelations are regarding the character of that particular nation that is continuously carrying out these assassination attempts, not only in one country, but in a number of countries with impunity.
Jawad, since the creation of Pakistan, India has never accepted Pakistan from the core of its heart and has ever been creating problem for Pakistan. Not only creation of the problems, but also have been designing all sort of terrorism in Pakistan. And the Pakistan, which has been carried out for the last 25 years, is being sponsored and patronized or designed by India, either with the nexus of Afghan Taliban or Mossad. The main culprit and the main designer or the terrorist or perpetrator was India. And since the creation of Pakistan, we have been facing such sort of issues in Pakistan. Not only this is an issue for Pakistan, but also it has become an Indian-sponsored terrorism in the entire world. As you have earlier mentioned, that Mr. Najjar was assassinated in Canada and was assassinated by India. And the evidences are very clear in Canada as well. And Canada has summoned Indian, envoy or the concern regarding that assassination. The case of another assassination plan or plot was revealed in America. One case in Czech Republic, the Czech Republic government has handed over one Indian to the Americans. I give you another example in Middle East. That is a case of Qatar. In Qatar, 8 spies of India have been sentenced to death because of the involvement in some spy activities in Middle East. So India has expanded its all, the sphere of terrorism or spy activities in the entire world.
Is it so easy for India to, spread its network all across the world in multiple jurisdictions? As Mr. Foreign Secretary has also said, it is running a sophisticated and sinister campaign of extraterritorial killings inside Pakistan. And it is the sophisticated international setup that is spread over multiple jurisdictions. How easy it is for India to, build up that setup in multiple jurisdictions?
First of all, India targeted Pakistan. When India was confident enough that India can target Pakistan for a longer time, and in the entire of the country has been on the target of India since long, then India got that encouragement and decided to expand its design in the entire world. But remember, the time is gone. Now it is enough. The government of Pakistan, the armed forces of Pakistan, the army chief, they all are very committed, and they are, very determined that they will teach a severe lesson to every terrorist sponsored activity in the country, or every perpetrator of the terrorism activity in the country. And it is very clear that in all the activities, terrorism activities, India is behind. And Pakistan will take this case in the United Nations and in on international forums.
When we talk about the motives of Bharatiya Janata Party government led by its Prime Minister Narendra Modi, what, as per your understanding, could be the motives of such assassinations it is carrying out across the globe? What larger interest does it want to achieve through it?
In fact, if you just have a view on the tenure of Modi as CM Gujarat, he has been butchering thousands of the innocent people in Gujarat, from where he excelled to the center. The formula which he just provoked or introduced to the Indians was the myth of Hindutva. He believes that Hindustan or India is for India, for the Hindus only, and the Hindus have the right to survive in India.
Supposedly, if he is selling this particular narrative based on Hindutva ideology to gain that political mileage within India, but how do you think he could think of this particular formula or the narrative being successful overseas?
It's okay, no problem. He is selling this narrative overseas because he wants to please Indian Hindus that he is the best leader or politician for Indian Hindus who can take care of the interests of the Hindus in the entire world. So he believes that or my government is targeting those people in the entire world for the sake of the interest, safeguarding interests of the Hindus of India. It is a very, very dangerous mythology and approach, which will really culminate in a very dangerous mode to India. India will suffer because of this approach and this mentality which Modi is carrying in the entire world. India or Indian leaders or then Modi started it from Pakistan. Then the international community like America or Canada or Britain, they didn't take care of it. They didn't take notice of it. Then from this encouragement, India then entered in Canada. India entered in Qatar. India entered in America, and then in the entire region. India will have to be, contained, not only by Pakistan, but also by America, Canada, Britain or United Nations, because India is creating problem for the entire region, and if the entire region decide to limit India to its territory, it will be.
So you have mentioned a very important point over here. Well, that narrative, if that sells well domestically within India of Bharatiya Janata Party and Narendra Modi, the point that you've just raised is even alarming, that when he wants to give a message to the Hindus or the Indians across the globe, wherever they are stationed, whether it is the Western nations, wherever they are, that he is going to be the custodian or the savior or the protector of that very narrative, and he is going to resort to such type of heinous acts whenever and wherever he deems fit.
Yes, it is his mythology.
So does this particular thing fare well with the Western nations in particular?
Never.
What sort of response or a reaction should be expected from them, especially when we have seen an evidence of an assassination already carried out in Canada? There was an assassination attempt that was made, which was thwarted in the US. What could be the response from them?
The case of Canada, America, Pakistan, and Qatar is the same case. I mean, there is nothing different from the design or the ultimate result of those cases. Every case is similar to the other. The case of Kulbhushan Yadav is a classical example of this state-sponsored terrorism in Pakistan, and that case should be studied in America and in Canada as well. And it is designed by India, and this approach will create really problem for the West as well. If the West or America or Canada didn't take notice of it, of their cases, I mean, this is India who will create problem for those states, because they are encouraged and they believe that if we can create problem for Pakistan, we can create problem for any country. But believe you, Pakistan or the government of Pakistan or the state of Pakistan or the armed forces of Pakistan are very vigilant, and they will take notice of it, and they will never spare India because of all these involvements or such sort of incidents.
We know that, of course, the Canadians and the US authorities have taken note of this. They've got that evidence of India's involvement in such activities on their soil. But taking just merely the notice and going for investigation and not doing any sort of a practical, taking practical measure in order to hold India accountable for its high-handedness on the foreign soils. What could be the options for those countries? Mr. Aman, Mr. Khan, please go ahead. What sort of options from here onwards Pakistan does carry with itself? For how long Pakistan will continue to try to shake the global community's conscience, especially given the fact that there were cases that came from the US as well as from Canada as well as Qatar. Now, what options do you think could be more?
One thing Pakistan will have to continue, and that is exposing India on international level with the international powers or in the international forums like UN. Pakistan will have to expose India on every level, diplomatically, politically. And number two, Pakistan will have to focus on its economy. Pakistan will have to strengthen economy, and Pakistan will have to address all those issues which Pakistani community, Pakistani people or Pakistani masses are facing. And Pakistan will have to keep all those target people who can become prey to India. So Pakistan will have to dismantle Indian Pakistan Taliban or in Afghan Taliban nexus as well. These are the measures which Pakistan will have to take immediately, and I think it will be giving some immediate fruits to Pakistan as well.
Right. How is technology affecting the global scenario when it comes to bilateral relationship, and how technology is being used by such states which are acting like rogue states under a certain specific extremist ideology, and the authorities over there carry on with the sinister design they do have. So what this combination actually tells us, the extremist ideology added into sinister design, and then that is laced by the modern technology.
Jawad, technology matters. And the technology which India is using for terrorism, Pakistan will have to counter that technology as well. Pakistan will have to opt or have to have that technology to have counter terrorism, which is being carried out by India with the help of that sophisticated technology. Secondly, one thing it is very important as far as the Indian mindset is concerned. Modi is going for his third term. He believes that he will be the Prime Minister of India for the third time. For this achievement, he wants to go for any sort of such aggression against Pakistan in particular, and aggressions in the entire world in general, to give impression to the 80% population of India, which is comprised on the Hindus, and he wants to please those Hindus and give a message to those Hindus that he is the ultimate choice of those Hindus to protect the interests of the Hindutva mythology in India and in the entire world.
Mr. Naveed Aman Khan, expert in international relations, you were joining us in the studio. Thank you very much for taking time out for Views on News tonight. Really appreciate that. With that, we come to the end of today's show. Till the next one, take good care of yourself.